Hi everyone, Sarah Carter, Senior Team Leader with Usborne Books and More, and I'd like to share with you our January 2018 new releases, nonfiction and activity books for older children. Telling the Time activity book. We also have the Adding and Subtracting activity book, multiplication activity book, and the Fractions and Decimals activity book. So these are really great. And you can see that they make learning fun for kids. So if you have the Lift the Flap Telling the Time book, if you have Wipe Clean Telling the Time, this is a really great addition to all of that because they can look at those other books and then this is good practice for them. And you can see there's all kinds of different fun activities for them to use while they're learning how to tell the time. The next one is Where's Jane? So similar to Where's Will, in this one there's little brief synopses of the different Jane Austen novels. So I'll show you the stories that are featured here so you can see the table of contents. And if you look at this, it will start by giving you that synopsis of the story. And then it will ask you to look for specific characters on the next page. So there's the characters that you're going to look for on that page. You turn the page and it's, again, like Where's Will? So much fun. And especially a great gift if you have adult friends even that are big Jane Austen fans. This could be a really fun present for them. Next one to show you, we have a new great series. There's two in this series. The first one's called No Worries. And this one is an activity book to help your child when they're feeling worried. So it's different activities that they can do. The other one has to do with when you're feeling angry. So it's a good way for them to get their worries out onto paper instead. So I'll show you. Like here, there's a worry list they're making. It says some worries are about things that are definitely going to happen, like a test or a trip, but other worries can be things that are very unlikely to happen. Think about your worries, see if you can put them into these two lists. Worries that might happen, worries that will probably never happen. So it really helps them to sort through their emotions, sort through their feelings, and think about things in a little bit more logical way that it's hard to do when everything's just kind of trapped in our heads. So really great for helping kids to think through all these different things. There are a lot of important people that were consulted in the making of this book. If you look at the back of the book, it'll give you some links that are helpful for further discussing these topics. But great way to help kids. All right, next one I'm going to show you, we have Times Tables Practice Pad. And this one's great because it's not just a whole bunch of, equations that look scary and intimidating, but like with our other activity books, there's fun activities that your child is doing to learn how to multiply and how to brush up on those skills. The next book is, we have a new one in our Academy series. We have Doctor Academy. We actually have two new ones. We have this one and we have Pilot Academy. If you're not familiar with that series, we also have Scientist Academy, we have Vet Academy, we have Engineer Academy, several more. And this one does not disappoint, just like the other ones. So you can see even the beginning flaps have things to do. So you're assembling a skeleton with the flaps on this. At the very end, there's even a game to play. So this folds out and becomes a game. This would be a great thing to take on vacation because then you wouldn't have to bring very much with you. It's all contained in this book. But you can see you start off and you're kind of learning what it's like to be a physician. So see, first page it says, Welcome to Doctor Academy. They're filling in information, they're getting training, they're learning how you need to read people's feelings to be a good doctor, you need to ask questions, baby care, so many things contained in this book. Awesome series. Next one I'd like to share with you, this is one of the other ones that I'm super excited about. It's called Here and There. And Here and There talks about different places in the world and how people do things. So this is really good for giving your child a view of the whole world here. So I'll show you the table of contents here. These are some of the things that are talked about in this book. Like buying groceries. Here's another one. I'll see how many pages I can show you here. Playing outdoors. We've got playing outdoors in Norway versus in Hong Kong. School lunches around the world. The New Year celebrated around the world. What nature looks like in different parts of the world. So this one, especially paired with one of our atlases, like our Lift the Flap Atlas or maybe our World Mazes book, could be a really fun present for some child. All right, the next one I'd like to show you is another one that I think is so much fun. This is the Usborne Big Pad Make Your Own Comics. And this is great because it does a really good job of walking kids through how to do that. So it starts off by introducing them to stick figures, moves on to showing them how to do faces, and then it'll talk about things like actions to consider having your character do. It will talk about setting, it'll talk about speech bubbles, all those different things. So it has some great scaffolding there for learning how to do it themselves. Then it gives them ideas on what they can include in their comic strips. So this one's creating a short comic. It's 3 panels. This is a really great idea for introducing the elements of a story. So if your child is maybe a little older and they're struggling with writing, this could be a really easy introduction to how to come up with characterization, the arc of a story, because they're doing it while having fun without even realizing that they're learning. And as a former English teacher, I can tell you that is a great thing. So you can see here it's got the journey, and then it helps them out. So you look at this, hours later is already in there, so that it gives them ideas on different stories that they can do. It gives them some help in there, which is a lot of fun. And then by the end, they're completely doing their own comic strip. The other ones that I am excited about are the Bear Grylls books that we have now. And the first one is Animal Detectives Activity Book. And there are actually 3, I think, different activity books and 2 coloring books in this series. And here, you can see there's an introduction from British adventurer Bear Grylls. And in this book, there are things like terrific tracks where you have to decide what animal it is that's walking around. So I'll show you the pictures as I go through here. Here it talks about how you can identify an animal by the poop they leave behind. And then in each of these activity books, it's gonna focus on a different aspect. So there's a Polar Worlds activity book, and then the other one is Wild Survival. But this one's fun because it helps your child to learn what it's like to be an animal detective, to be able to tell what animal has been there. You can see it's got mazes, it's got some dot to dot, it's got some crosswords. So this one is so much fun. Next one that I would like to share with you is the Bear Grylls Survival Skills Handbook. This is so cool, especially if your child is a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout or interested at all in nature and survival. This is the ultimate guide for them. So here's a look at what the table of contents looks like. So you can see it goes over camping, goes over maps and navigation. There's several different knots that they can learn how to tie, and then what to do with if you're in danger or there's an emergency. So I'll give you a quick look at what that's like. So it'll go over things like how to build an igloo, knives, what kind of food you bring outdoors, how to cook while you're camping, what different symbols mean, compasses. So lots of different practical skills. So if you have a hands-on child who loves being out in nature, this would make a fabulous gift for them. And the last one I'd like to share with you is called Bear Grylls Survival Camp. We also have Bear Grylls Extreme Planet that is in the same series as this. This book is so cool. So this is for older kids, and you can see here, it says the ultimate all-terrain training. But it has stories in it of actual explorers, which makes this a lot of fun, even as it's talking about different parts of the world. This one talks about how to remove a leech. Yuck. Talks about botflies, talks about this woman who fell out of a plane over the Amazon. She was 17. She fell from 2 miles up and survived. Crazy stories like that in there that older kids will absolutely love. Talks about venomous animals in there too, and then different parts of the globe and how to survive there. But lots of really great information with lots of pictures, lots of how-to. This book is fascinating. I sat and just read this book myself for about 15 minutes yesterday. So if you have a child that loves adventure, loves exploring, this is the book for them. Thanks for joining me.